Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today, Fountain Pen Showdown Day. I'm going to do a showdown between two of my larger pens. We've got the Winsung 630, this beautiful cigar shape. That's going to go up against my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. Two very different price points, two piston filling pens. Be interesting to see how they perform against each other. So join me now, down on the table. We'll take a quick look at the pens, do some size comparisons, weights and measures, a writing sample, then I'll give you my thoughts and my scores for these pens. Welcome down to the table. Here's today's pens, the Winsung 630 in this gorgeous red colour, it's the cigar shape, and the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. Both of them very similar in length. We'll look at lengths in a little bit. In today's video, not going to do a detailed description of each pen, just going to focus really on where we've got differences and similarities. So let's start with a body walkthrough. As I've already said, lengthwise, very similar. With the 630, that cigar shape, or maybe even a torpedo shape. With the Leonardo, we've got the pointed ends. I do like the pointed ends on the Leonardo. Nice colour here. I do like this red, same colour going all the way around. We've got some gold coloured trim with the Leonardo. We've got this beautiful spaghetti pattern. Just look at this. We've got blues, we've got some browns there, we've got some white, some cream, bit of chatoyancy there. Very nice. And on this, we've got silver coloured trim. Taking the caps off, half, one, about 1.5 turns to take the cap off on the 630. On the Leonardo, half, one turn, so a little bit quicker. Both of these pens, they're both piston fillers. Biggest difference is the Winsung, hopefully you can see here. We've got an ink window. Just try and get that bit of ink there. There we go, there's no ink showing. Hopefully that might come out a bit clearer. I like that, I can see what my ink level is. Leonardo, no ink window. The sections, the Leonardo, I prefer this. It's got this gorgeous shape, so it's coming down to the bottom. It's not curving back out again. My fingers just sit there perfectly. Absolutely love that. With the Winsung, we've got more of a straight there. There is a little tiny size difference, but only tiny. Nibs, this is where we start to see the difference. With the Winsung, this is a number 8 size nib. It's a steel nib, two-tone. I do like two-tone nibs. So it's primarily a gold colour. Then we've got that little bit of a silver colour there in a border. Below the breather hole, we've got 1947. Then we've got a logo, then the word Jinhao. There's nothing on there saying the nib size. This is a fine nib. On the Leonardo, again, we've got a steel nib here, all the same colour. We've got like a cutout border. Below the breather hole, we've got the Leonardo logo, the word Leonardo. Below that, we've got Italy. Then on the right-hand side, we've got the nib size, which is M. This is a medium nib. So altogether, very, very different looking pens. Let's swap on over and we'll do some size comparisons. Here's my standard size comparisons, the Pilot Metropolitan, the Lamy Safari. Both of today's pens, an awful lot bigger. Let's take the caps off. With the caps off, I've tried to line them up by the tip of the nib. The two pens, they're still longer, but not as long. So that's worth bearing in mind. If you like a long pen in your hand, these look quite nice. Talking about in the hand, here's the Winsung 630. Really nice fit. I love the width of this section. Very, very nice. It will post. Doesn't feel very tight though. It feels very loose. And it posts down to about here. With the Leonardo, again in the hand, as I've already said, I love this section. Very, very nice. Nice length. Section, really just perfect for me. Will it post? Yeah, this one posts really well. Does feel a little bit back heavy, but most pens when they're posted for me do feel back heavy. I don't like to post pens. Unposted, it's just about right. Let's swap over and fetch in some pens in roughly the same price range. So here we've got the TWSBI Eco, that's 45 Aussie dollars. The Wingsung 630, 46 Aussie dollars. The Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, 377 Aussie dollars. And the Waterman Karen, 400 Aussie dollars. When we're looking at the sizes here, that TWSBI Eco is about the same length as both these pens. The Leonardo ever so slightly longer, which is quite interesting to see that. The Karen, definitely shorter. Width-wise, the Eco looks very similar in width to the other two. The section, though, a lot narrower. Let's just pop the caps on these. With the caps on, the Waterman Karen and the TWSBI Eco look fairly similar in size. Again, the Leonardo and the Wingsung, they are longer, but only just longer. One of the things to note, with the cap on, these pens are so wide, it's pushing that Waterman up a bit, which is why it looks wonky. Let's swap on over and do some weights and measures. Here we've got the rule of measuring. Let's start with the Wingsung. So total length with the cap on, that comes in at 14.8 centimetres. Unposted, I can stop it rolling, 13.5 centimetres. I say it doesn't post very well, but let's try posted. That comes in about 17 centimetres. The width of the body, its widest part, which is just about here, that's 1.45 centimetres. The cap, 1.69. The section goes from 1.28 up to 1.33. As I say, not a very big difference there in section width. Let's look at the Leonardo. So the body there, that's 15 centimetres, so 2 millimetres longer. Unposted, we're looking at 13.6 centimetres, so 1 millimetre, but to be honest, that's the same, isn't it? Posted, we come in at 17.5 centimetres. It's these pointed ends which add that little bit extra length. Width of the body, that comes in at 1.6 centimetres. The cap, 1.67. And the section goes from 1.1 up to 1.45. So both pens, to be honest, very similar in size. Let's swap over, fetching the scales of weighing. Here we've got the scales of weighing. We'll start with the Wingsung. 33 grams for the whole pen. The body, hopefully it won't roll, 22 grams. The cap, 11 grams. With the Leonardo full pen, 32 grams, virtually the same. The body, 22 grams. The cap, 11 grams. In terms of weight, both identical. Let's swap on over and fetch in the notepad of testing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing, Oxford Optic paper, 90 GSM paper, really nice and fountain pen friendly. We're going to start with the Wingsung. So we've got here a Wingsung, $630. It's got a fine nib. Price for this pen, as I've already said, 46 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine and it's Mulled wine. Beautiful colour and loads of shading coming through. Drying times, we've got immediate, 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. I'm going to go down on the next line for this. Still very wet there. Let's do the 2-minute test. Two minutes. We're still smudging. Not going to go any longer than that, but this is a really wet combo. Let's look for line variation. Here's no pressure. Going to add some pressure. So we do get a little bit of line variation. I wouldn't push it too hard though, because you'll end up damaging the nib. So no pressure, with, none, and with. Let's move the mic down to the page and write a sentence. I do like that. It's like it's talking to me as I'm writing with it. Let's do my final test. This is for flow. Then going backwards. Very nice. Really do like this ink in this pen. I think it's a really good combo. I think I won't even try any more inks in here. I think this is just that perfect matching for me. We'll move the page up. And then we'll write with the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. Now it's a long name. Let's see how far we go on the line. So we've got here a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande with a medium nib. And as I've already said, it's 377 Aussie dollars. Now what I've got to do is remember to keep agitating this. Whilst I was doing my drying test for the previous pen, I've been agitating it quite a lot. I've risked it and I've put a shimmer ink in here. So it'd be interesting to see if any of that shimmer comes through. Did that because the pen, you can easily remove the nib and feed, so it's fairly easy to give it a good clean. So I said it is a shimmer ink. It's by Diamine, part of the Inkvent series of inks, and it's Upon a Star. Nice blue base colour there, quite like this. Drying times, so we go immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, after a minute, smudging ever so slightly, not worth doing a 2-minute test. Line variation, so here's no pressure, here's with some pressure. The nib feels a lot stiffer than what we were seeing on the 630. So no pressure, with, none, and with. Not really a lot of difference there. Again, don't push it too hard, you'll damage the nib. Now, whilst I was doing my drying times, I did double check. The ink Upon a Star, it's a chameleon, not a shimmer. It's very similar to a shimmer, but a lot smaller particles. Let's move the mic down to the page and write a sentence. Again, it's like it's talking to me. The 630, there was like a little bit of singing to it, whereas with this there isn't, but both very nice. Flow test. Yeah, that keeps up really nicely. Just going to lift the page. Let's see if we can see any of that chameleon. Wow. Not sure if the camera's catching this, but on the first two lines where it's already dried, we've got the blue colour, then we've got this, I want to say like a reddish purpley chameleon, like a bit like a sheen coming through. Absolutely gorgeous, really nice. Really adds that character to the writing. So that's the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. So what are my thoughts and my scores for these two pens? Let's start with pen looks. I love the way both pens look. With the 630, it's got this one colour. It's really classic shaped. A pen you could take anywhere and not worry about it. With the Leonardo, I absolutely love this resin. Beautiful resin. I love the way that the section is shaped. It's a shame that more modern Leonardos don't have this same section. I like the silver trim with this. I like the gold trim though with the red one as well. So both of them look really nice, but this spaghetti pattern really makes a difference. I'm going to give the Wing Sung 8 out of 10, but the Leonardo, going to give that a 9 out of 10. Build quality, good solid pens. Both of them had no issues with them. The piston mechanism works well. Had the Leonardo a lot longer, it's had an awful lot of use. It's inked up, I would say 80% of the time, so it's used an awful lot. Wing Sung only had this a few months, but in that few months, it's been a solid performer. I can easily take out the nib and feed. It cleans up well. Again, the piston mechanism, absolutely no issues. Both pens, a good 8 out of 10. Writing experience. With the 630, when I initially got it, there were some hard starts. So what I did is I pulled out the nib and feed and I flossed at the nib. Made a big difference. Don't get those hard start issues anymore. As I've said with this Mulled wine ink, absolutely love it with this pen. I think it's a really nice match. It sings to slightly. There's nice feedback to it. 8 out of 10. With the Leonardo, I just love the section. It's as if it's designed for my fingers. It just feels so nice. It feels so natural. Both pens are quite light. Both pens, they seem to vanish in the hand when you're using them. But with the Wing Sung, the section, with it being that bit wider, yes, it's nice, but it does feel a bit more uncomfortable than I feel with that shaped section on the Leonardo. So for writing experience, I'm going to give the Leonardo a 9 out of 10. Ink flow, as we're seeing here, no issues with them at all. I did have that hard starting issue, little bit of work, all of about 1 minute, fixed that up. The ink flows well, we've got generous flow there. Wow, look how wet that 630 is with that ink, extremely wet. Nice wetness there though with that Leonardo. And as I showed you, we're seeing some of that characteristic in the ink. So both of these for ink flow, 8 out of 10. Comfort. The 630, very nice, comfortable section. I say it can feel a bit awkward at times, but if you've got larger hands, oh, so nice. Lengthwise, fits very nice. Not worth trying to post it. It doesn't post very well at all. With the Leonardo, I don't know how many times I can say this, I love this section. It's just perfect. My fingers, they rest really well. I hold my pens down near the bottom. If you hold your pens further up, yes, you're going to catch the threads a little bit, but it's not too bad. Nice length for the pen. This one is postable. For comfort, going to give these both a 9 out of 10. Value for money. Always the interesting one, this isn't it? Yes, they are both in different price ranges, so I'm not going to compare them against each other in terms of price. You've got to bear in mind, you could get, 7 of the 630 for the price of one Leonardo. So not really fair to compare them against each other. But when I compare them against pens that are in the same price range, we've got a good, solid performing pen here with the 630. I think the price, $46, for most people, it's fairly reasonable. Maybe not as a starter pen, maybe it's your second or third pen. But yeah, it's a good, solid pen. With the Leonardo, it is not cheap for a steel nibbed pen. I've got gold nib pens that I've paid less. It's still worth it. The beauty of this material, the way it writes, it's Italian. It's a really good quality pen. So I'm going to give both of these pens, for value for money, an 8 out of 10. That means the total score For the Winged Sun 630 with Diamine mulled wine is 8.17 out of 10. And the total score for the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande with Diamine upon a star, that gets 8.5 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Have you got either of these pens? Have you got both of them? How do they compare against each other? What are your thoughts on them? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit that thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.